guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel. Some things happened these last few days in pop culture that I kind of want to digest quickly and try and spread a Christian perspective on it. If you're new here, I'm Jada Brooke, and my mission on this channel is to spread love, truth, and a heaven view. Unless you live under a rock, you have probably heard what's going on with Taylor Swift right now. There were these photos that were AI generated, and they were photos of Taylor Swift, and they were sexually explicit, not only in the parts of her that they were showing, but in the actions that it showed her doing as well. And I haven't seen these pictures. I've just briefly heard creators talking about it and how disturbing and upsetting these photos were. Let's talk about it. Obviously, this is a sick thing that should never happen. And of course, we know when it happens to Taylor Swift because she's the most famous person in the world right now. But this is happening to people who are just normal girls. This is happening to people that don't have a platform at all. So we need to keep that in mind here. And this is a sick thing. And I was originally going to talk about the idolization of celebrities and how that's kind of intertwined its way into sex culture and stuff like that. But I really feel the Holy Spirit urging me to talk about the root of the problem, which I think is the idolatry of sex itself and porn we are told to flee from in 1 Corinthians. So I kind of want to look at that. So once again, I haven't seen the photos, but from watching other creators, the first problem that I see is that people aren't necessarily looking for these photos. I've stayed off Twitter the last few days. I've stayed off Instagram. Well, I've tried to stay off Instagram the last few days because I did not want to be exposed to these photos because I think it is such a sickening thing. But people are being exposed to these photos without their consent as well. And let's keep in mind they're AI generated, but from what I've heard, they look hauntingly realistic. No one should be going to look for them. Yet, I believe the original post reached almost 45 million people. So it obviously made its rounds to people. And the problem that I have with this is that whoever did this is so sick, because Taylor Swift's not only sick in the aspect of they're using her likeness for something so vile, but Taylor Swift's demographic is young girls. So imagine being 13 years old and going on Twitter and being exposed to these images. What? And not to mention our society has a porn epidemic problem, which is what probably has led to this being shown in the first place. Studies have shown that when we watch porn, that our desires become more graphic and you need different things to fulfill that. And I believe that that's probably what these photos came from, honestly, is like, why was somebody sitting there desiring to see Taylor Swift in this way? Like, is she not more than a body? Sex is more than what your body looks like. Sex is an intimate experience that God has created. Sex involves a real human and who has a real soul that God cares for. And so whenever we take this idea of sex and we morph it to fit our own desires and what we want, it really causes deep damage. And we see that here. So I just want to keep that in mind, is this sex is being used as a weapon in this scenario. And once again, it comes from it being outside of what God has intended it for. This whole situation is insane to me. I still can't even believe I'm talking about it. Porn is so destructive for the brain, and it is so accessible. Like sexually explicit content, even if it's not quote unquote porn, it's close enough. It's being shoved down our throats daily. I'm a Christian. I don't ever interact with posts like that, and I still get posts like that on my For You page, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, and I do not interact with it at all. And yet I'm still being exposed to these things. So imagine the damage that it's doing, being exposed to these young girls, I'm sure. Yeah, I want to move on to my next point, which is she is a real human being. When we idolize these people, we kind of just make them larger than life almost and detach all human emotion from them. And what happens when we do that is people are able to do these dehumanizing things because they have no attachment to it. Like I said, she's a real human with a real soul that God cares for. We should be praying for Taylor Swift. I cannot imagine what she's going through right now. Pray that she encounters Jesus. Pray that she has an encounter with Jesus. Pray that she heals from all the hurt and the damage that this has caused, and pray that God will use this for good. So yeah, that's kind of my basic thoughts on what's going on. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and leave a like down below.